Welcome, this is a recording of a webinar at LIGS University.
So we are from various countries, various time zones, but we are in the same place, in the same topic, in the same interest. So welcome once again. Today we are going to improve ourselves in seminar papers. We will be, as tutors, we will be happy to receive your seminar papers. We will look forward to them, and hopefully that you will looking forward to them as well. You will be happy to prepare some kind of paper and communicate with us about it. So I suppose that we will move this topic so that it will be a pleasure for both of us, tutors and students, to prepare seminar papers. It's not the easy goal, but let's try it. So what does it mean? Why you are writing seminar papers? You know that in LIGS University, there is a so-called Oxford tutorial model. And it means that we don't read you the books and knowledge, but we suppose that you prepare the knowledge and the readings, and then you will prove how big expert you are, that you are able to solve something based on this knowledge and on your survey. Let's prepare a scheme. Okay, So this is the scheme. What seminar paper is? It is your readings. It means literature review. You can read about best practices. How does it work in other industries, in similar enterprises, and so on. So a lot of reading, a lot of knowledge. Then you prepare some kind of your own survey. It can be secondary data. It can be your own data collections, whatever, your observation of the situation, and so on. And then you put your own invention, ideas, solutions, and this is the seminar paper. So these three parts creates your proving that you are able to solve something. This is a kind of a test, the kind of examination that you are good students and you can earn your MBA reward. Generally, the seminar paper is some kind of problem solving. You can see a lot of problems about you. Probably you are in surroundings full of problems and there is not time enough to solve everything. So that's you are in the right time, in the right place, and it's good luck that they have you as a student so you can bring some new solutions, some new ideas, and it's proven and it's based on expertise and data. How to grab it? You have generally the work, the seminar paper must have some kind of goal, objection. So the goal can be like a research task. It means to write a seminar paper, start by writing a clear and specific thesis that expresses your original point of view. Then work on your... Okay, thank you. The goal you can define in two ways. The first option is some kind of research task. Definitely, you will see a lot of things which might be improved. You can improve something. You can develop some kind of method, something. You can, for example, find a solution. You can create a model of something. How does it work? Like model of bankruptcy, probability of bankruptcy, or whatever. Maybe you can simulate an alternative because in your business you did something and then maybe you can do it in another way, so another alternative. You can quantify something. It means that you can transform it into numbers. And maybe you can do some kind of comparison, so compare something. Maybe you can define gaps, idea and reality. probably there are some gaps or gaps between expectations of customers and the real services and etc. Maybe you can identify needs, for example, identify needs of employees for education, for development, and you can suggest whatever. So these are the research tasks. Some kind of this task is the basic of your seminar paper. Or there are many questions around us everywhere. So maybe we can provide good, profitable and nice answer to some kind of question what we are usually asking for. For example, why something happens, why consumers like this and don't like that, what is the motivation, what is the reason, what is the barrier, the biggest driver, the biggest influence, the biggest factor, the most important factor, what is. And generally all the questions starting like where it happens, we can find it, and so on, who can involve, who we can touch, who, what, why. So this is so-called research on quality, not research on quantity. This usually you can do by interviews, by readings, discussions, focus groups, and so on. Is it clear? So that our task to something or question to provide answer to something. This is the elementary part of your seminar paper. Hope, is it clear? I am still watching the chat. So if any questions, objections, and whatever occurs here, I will try to put some response. So now seems it's clear. So we can move. We can move and do some discussion, short discussion on troubles which we are facing. So generally, we are facing some kind of misunderstanding. What does it mean, analysis? Sometimes you write the main goal of the seminar paper is to analyze. But what does it mean, analyze? Analysis, it means that something is together and I will put it in small parts, and that's all. Is it all? If your car is broken, so the main goal is the analysis, just to make it to separate parts? Definitely not. Hope we understand that it must be analyzed, it must be separated into small parts, then we check, examine the small parts, but then we have to put it together again. So analysis is just a step how to improve it, how to create it. Of course we have to analyze, but it's not the main goal to analyze. Okay, is it clear? So seminar paper should always answer a question or explain a topic well. Topic or the problem. Yes, there have to be, I will show you that it's not talking about something, but it's solution solving. This is this slide. This is answer what seminar paper is, some kind of problem solving in the form of research task or in the form to provide answer to the question. Everything is clear. So big trouble is with analysis. I suppose that no more troubles with what analysis is. It is necessary, but it's not the goal. I don't want to have such a car. If my car is broken, I need another picture than this. Another trouble is with comparison. It's very often that you would like to compare comparison of customers, businesses, whatever. And sometimes we have 2 or 3 readings, like a nice reading about enterprise A, about enterprise B, and about enterprise C. But it's not comparison. 3 separate stories about 3 people, about 3 businesses. It's not comparison. What's the right comparison? The same structure. So if I compare the fish, I will describe water. This water is with salt, this water is without salt. I will compare quantity. In this, there's less water, here is more water. Then I compare number of fish. There is one fish, there is one fish. Then I compare the character of the fish. There is one small fish, here fish are big, and so on and so on. So I have to put some criteria. I compare this criteria because some of the topics provided by LIGS can be really vague. I guess we should craft problems from all of them. Yes, thank you for the note. You can understand the topics provided by LIGS like wide orientation of you, but for some of topics are for dissertation work, not for seminar work. So some topics is like employees, their motivation, their development, and evaluation. So definitely you can't put everything together. So it's like inspiration for you. And then you say, okay, I will do just the motivation. And there is the problem. What's the difference between millennials and old people? And you are comparing and then derive some recommendations that different motivation is for the youngsters and for the older workers. So please understand the topics provided by LIGS like inspiration. It's not the total, and you can find problem in the frame in terms of the topic. You will see some kind of problem, question, and please solve it. Okay, so how about comparison? Is identifying a problem or detecting a not obvious be sufficient objective for seminar motive paper, or is it essential to offer a solution? Identifying a problem, yes, I said that, for example, identifying the gaps, identifying the need. So in some circumstances, if you identify like discover what's going on or where the problem might be valuable. So it depends on, it must be uncovered. You will show us what's going on. So in that circumstances, it's fine. Is it clear, the answer? Okay. Thank you. So, okay. So let's see another problem. You are maybe a little bit afraid of the seminar paper, so you say, I have to discover and I have to describe this and this and this and that, because 20 pages, 30 pages, it's a big lot of words, big scale. So I will cover everything. But what happens? You will stay really vague. You can say just a couple sentences on each topic. So even for you, even for the solution, for everything, it's much better if you get left and right, and if you are able to focus, because if you are focused, you can really solve something. If you are too much just talking, it's nothing about. Sometimes it's a problem because the things are connected and linked, like a spider everywhere or octagon everywhere, but it's necessary to cut it from the left and right side and to keep eye only on some focus and go deep and deep and deeper. And then the deeper, the better results you can receive. So my recommendation, don't be afraid that 20 pages are that it needs too much problems. Don't be afraid to focus on something. What can't be the goal. Sometimes, unfortunately, we have to discuss with our students, please, you can't, the main goal can't be, I have to make the reader familiar with, I will be talking about marketing, I will tell you what does it mean, critical thinking, and talking. Maybe sometimes we aren't smart enough, sometimes we don't have enough sufficient reading, but it's not the main, it's not game we are playing. It's paper. You are inform us doesn't mean, but are solving something. You are proving that you are very good expert in the topic and that you can provide your contribution to the topic to improve something and so on. Similar sentence is, the goal is to outline the problem of. You are talking, this is wrong, this is bad, this is wrong again, and this is my seminar paper. I told you how bad it is. Okay, problems are everywhere, but just to cry and just to describe what's wrong, you know, it's not the proper one. Or the something like this, my goal of my seminar paper is to tell you how is it going. I will describe you how our marketing campaign was done. I will tell you how we are developing our employees. Okay, but it's not the MBA studies, it's not the master of business to tell me what he's seeing around him. So these three goals aren't acceptable, maybe on some lower standards, lower levels of studies like secondary school or something like that, but definitely not on masters. Masters are more ambitious than just talking and complaining and whatever. Hope we are on the same wave in this. Just summarize, we need to clearly the goal, not the topic, but the goal, the problem, the sex story is driven by you and formulated. The goal is ambitious enough because we want to be masters, and it's in the form of research task or research question. And as we had to know, the identification in discovering something is also possible to consider as a good ambitious goal. So that's fine. What definitely can be considered as a seminar paper. Sometimes it's very precious. Sometimes your talkings experience are great. Experience with Korean leadership style, experience with whatever. So it's great. Maybe you are really expert. You can do your personal branding really great, but it's not the seminar paper. Good news is that LIGS would like to promote such activities. If you are full of your experience, memories, nice talkings, you are welcome. We can help you to publish the book or the ebook or some kind of series, or promote you to put your ideas, experience into some important journals. That's great. So if you are full of this, you can contact us and we can arrange some. We can help to arrange it for you. But it's not the seminar paper. One more comment on what does it mean contribution. Your own contribution is not in your experience, in your talking and so on, but as we said, it's based on theory, based on best practices and on existing knowledge. Then you can do your own search in your situation, in your data, and so on, and then you create your solution. So this is what does it mean on contribution? Yes, thank you, but based on this. So this is the way how your contribution is created, based on theory and survey. Hope it's well clear. Now let's talk about single parts of the work. Okay. Bye-bye. Let's have some discussion about similar parts of the seminar paper. Abstract is some kind of like concentrate of the paper. So if something is written on one page, here in abstract it's written in one sentence. So you have 10 pages, for example, of your work, and your abstract is in 10. Oh, thank you. So we made it better. So abstract is explanation why it is important, what you are doing, what is your goal, what is the theoretical background, how your methods are, what are your findings, and what are your recommendations. It's same like your paper, just in very, very, very concentrated way, very strong way. So after reading the abstract, it should be the same like reading all of your work. So this is abstract concentration. Yeah, now the part introduction. The part introduction, it means what describe the topic, describe problem. So some small several words about content, about the context of your work, about justification of urgency or need, why you are solving this problem, why is it necessary, what is it good for. Talk about the goal and maybe discover and describe some kind of methods. I will do some such kind of research. So this is in introduction. You will have this presentation so you can use it as manual to your seminar papers. So abstract is clear, I suppose, and introduction is easy way how to introduce into the problem. Then we have to prepare the theoretical background. Here's a picture of several vegetables. And let's say that my main goal is to prepare a salad. What will be my theoretical background if the main goal is to suggest a salad? So before suggesting salad, I have to know what avocado is, what spice it is, how does it taste, what vitamins are, what is going with what, how it should be prepared, should it be, can I do it in raw, or shall I cook it, shall I boil it, whatever. So this is the theoretical background. So I know everything about the single parts of my problem, and then I am using this knowledge because I would like to make the salad. Sometimes we are reading seminar papers that, for example, someone would like to talk about a Facebook campaign, and the theoretical background is marketing is, PR is, target groups are. And now I will suggest the campaign, and the campaign is suggested totally differently. So that's why the theoretical background is really the background, the basic information that I need to know to be able to be competent to create a good salad. Hope this example is clear enough how the theory must be connected. It's really help for you how to do your own solution. It's like the existing knowledge. And yeah, I suppose you understand it. Yeah, sorry. Now, sometimes I tend to make it like in kindergarten, because I love things which are really easy. And sorry for that if you aren't children, of course. So the next talking is about literature review. What does it mean exactly? It means to have the relevant information only. That's why I'm talking, you needn't describe all the marketing, all the history of marketing and whatever, and price policy and distribution policy, if wanted to do some kind of communication. So only the relevant knowledge prepare to like literature review. Sometimes in literature review, it's very useful to, for example, compare different streams, different opinions, different authors, because not everybody has the same opinion. Sometimes you can see various recommendations, various solutions, so you can compare it, and then you say, okay, I agree with author John, and I am following his theory, and my solutions are according to John's knowledge, John's know-how. Sometimes you can map existing findings, not to discover America. I think if you do not add all those literature, it's very difficult to reach the required words. Okay. I'm not sure I understand the message. If you do not add all those literature, which literature? You mean in the seminar paper? Yeah, it's very difficult to reach whatever. Yeah. Okay. So please don't understand the literature review like just copy and paste a lot of another books. It's really your selection of useful information, useful knowledge, which are the basis of your future survey and so on. Yeah, and definitely, as was my sample with TELIT, that the theory should be in proper ratio to all parts of the topics. So if you wanted to put together a salad, I have to know about the single vegetable. So that's the message of how to do the literature review. Next slide is about the analytical part. Because when we have prepared the literature, then we can start to do the analytical. How the text look like? Is it like a novel, like a nice reading? Definitely not. We are doing Master of Business Administration to understand, to communicate about business, how we are communicating. We have a lot of tabs, we have a lot of graphs, a lot of charts, a lot of schemes. It must be structured. It's not reading like 400 pages of continuously reading. Definitely there are a lot of numbers, charts, and so on. So I can't understand why there is not the PowerPoint presentation. Hopefully it will come. But this is the message of probably can see a little hard. Good text is structured and it's full and graphs and schemes and so on. So let's move to another slide. Yeah, Christopher, thank you for your note. Hypotheses are pretty problematic, so we did not to trouble you with them because, but there is a question, so I am going to provide answer. General hypotheses are like I suppose that something is happened, and I would like to know if it's true or not. Is it just my opinion or is it real? Is it a real problem? So that's why hypothesis should be like my suspension, my thinking, ideas, and we don't want to express it, because generally when we express it, then you can provide some kind of statistic tests to be able to properly answer. Otherwise, without the statistics, without the testing, it's just on the level of talking, on the level of idea. I suppose that people aren't happy. Let's check it. Let's examine. Are they happy or not? So let's like talking introduction, maybe in goal settings and so on. Don't make it just now as the proper method, because if it should be a proper method, it must be followed by statistics and statistic tests. So this is my answer. The level of seminar papers, we don't want to play with the proper hypothesis. Sound is very bad. We can't see the presentation. Let's continue in our important webinar about seminar papers, because we are looking forward to receive nice and useful and valuable papers, and probably you are looking forward to write something which is pretty easy and helpful for you and developing you yourself. So now some talking about data, about facts, about your research. What does it mean, why it is, and so on. I will try to be as clear as possible. If the presentation works, hopefully. And where to gain data? How can I receive some numbers? Because numbers are important. We aren't working with our ideas and opinions. We are working with the numbers, with the facts. This is the great part which we need. So a lot of data we have on our own table. Everybody has information system in their enterprise and their business. They know almost everything about customers, about what is the structure, what is the average price, and etc., etc. So a lot of data are laying and waiting for us on our table. So please don't hesitate and take the data you already have and work with them. If the data in your table isn't sufficient, then you can try to collect another data, for example, questioning. But for questioning, as well, you can use some e-sources, e-conferences, typical is e-Google, Google Scholar. Then a lot of useful data in associations. I would like to know something about hotels, so I will contact the Association of Hotels, and they will have probably the great statistics about what is the average price of hotel, what is the average long of stay of tourists, what is the structure of tourists from other countries, and so on. So not the hotel, but the Association of Hotels probably will be equipped by a lot of numbers. And as well, there are a lot of useful statistics like Czech Statistical Office, probably Nigeria Statistical Office, and whatever countries. You OECD, World Bank, and here you can see a lot of comparison, a lot of numbers from 10 years old, 20 years old, so you can compare it in the time series and so on. And if you still don't know how to work, where to gain your data, don't hesitate to contact the libraries. Usually they are familiar with other electronic databases, so they can orient you or do the service for you. So you would like to know this among youngsters. Now we have to talk about how the data should be proceeded. Definitely the answer is in some kind of meaningful way. It must have meaning. Be afraid of Excel, because Excel and some statistics programs, they are able to count everything. They can count that you are 30 years and the temperature is -2 centigrades and you had 3 courses menu, and Excel is able to put all these 3 numbers together with no problems. So that's you who gives the meaning to the data, to your survey. So not rely on the programs. Sometimes you can provide the basic description like average, some kind of statistical variance, some kind of crosstabs. It's important when the average is 50. So it's important for me to know if all the people are on the value of 50, or maybe I have a lot of people with 20 and a lot of people with 70, and almost no one is 50. So this is the statistical variance, and there are just description is also a very valuable source of what's going on, of information. So I can talk about the problem, and I have some kind of solution, some kind of evidence. Don't be afraid of so-called manuals. If you don't know how to cook some kind of meal, what are you doing? You can take a book, and there is written, take the meal, take the onion, cut the onion. So in the same way, there are books, there are manuals how to proceed the data. So you can use these books, and even though you aren't good cooks, you can do the good cooking. So even though you aren't very familiar with data proceeding, with the help of these books, you can do it step by step. So don't be afraid. And some of you are familiar with the programs like SPSS and so on. So these are the ways how to proceed data. Any questions about, for example, crosstabs are very useful because you receive a lot of explanations. So I will wait for your reaction. Can I throw light on SPSS? Throw light. SPSS is a program, and it's very user-friendly program. So if you can hack it somewhere, because it's pretty expensive, and I suppose it should be available with LIGS as well. One more thing I would like to mention about economic seminar papers. It means that economic number usually can't be just as a single number, because single number is not too much valuable. We need some kind of relations. You can imagine, that makes sense if I say you, my profitability is 5%. What do you hear? Is it good or bad? Is it too much or not? It's nothing. Single number is nothing. The same. In the campaign, 125 clients were acquired. Okay. What does it mean? Fine or not fine? Success or not success? It's nothing. I suggest to do the investment of 2 million euro. Shall we approve it or not? Does it worth to do it? And so on. So there are just a couple of samples that single numbers are usually not too much valuable. We need relation. So profitability is 5%, and it's 100% more than last year. Okay, I understand. Or it's still lower than the market growth. Okay, it's a bad number. So relation, the numbers must be in relations. Related to benchmarking. So for example, comparison with the industry. So in my hotel, there is 90% of how the hotel is busy. Is it good or bad? When I compare it with other hotels, and other hotels are 95% busy, so my 90% is not so good result, and I know what does it mean. So comparison with the industry. Sometimes time series, so how it was in last year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. It's information, it's a kind of comparison, kind of relation that I can say it's good, it's bad, but not just a number, or maybe evaluation with the goals, and so on. So definitely compare with something. Another thing, we need to have some kind of metrics. We aren't happy just with the word, because words are very, very, how to say, very easy, and I can't. We don't like words like it's good, it's sufficient, it's reliable. No, because it's reliable, what does it mean? For you, it's reliable, or for your boss? What does it mean? Is it good, bad? So that's why in the seminar papers, we need numbers and some kind of metrics. Sometimes it seems it's very difficult to transform words into metrics, but please try it, because we are on the field of economics and our language are numbers. So even my desires for something should be expressed in number. Maybe on the scale from 1 to 10, my desire for oranges are number 7. So this is the way how we shall express our emotions, our desires, our everything. What you would say, no, it can't be transformed in numbers. But unfortunately, it should be transformed in numbers, in some kind of metrics. So please, your result in your research paper or in your seminar paper, please express it in some kind of metrics, in kilograms, meters, euros, whatever, but not in words like it is good, it is sufficient, it is nice, it's great, because we are in economic. Yeah, and probably we will understand you if you will talk in metrics, because it can be compared with other countries, with other opinions, with other researchers. Now we are happy to be in conclusion in our seminar paper. So in conclusion, it's easy just to summarize a brief answer to the question, or put the result of your task on the table. And plus, please give us some kind of discussions, limits. It's valuable in the terms of e-shops, but probably in other shops, it must be done another survey. I suggest to improve this and that, and I suggest for further investigation to do this research not only for youngsters, but as well for older people, for example. So summarize, put on the table, do your personal PR, don't hesitate, and that's the nice seminar paper. Before tips and tricks, you will see this picture. It's a warning for not older people, but let's say for experienced people, because sometimes the experience are very limiting for us. Okay, we have some more slides, so please give me 10 more minutes to finish. So my recommendation is, please be so kind and deploy new knowledges, new approaches, new possibilities. Sometimes please forget your proven experience and proven truth. I know what I'm talking about. It was very difficult to gain all this experience, but to develop new ideas, new things, we have to work with new knowledge, with new things. So sometimes it's very sad, even for me, that I have to forget what my knowledge, what my experience is, and I have to search new knowledge, new solutions. So don't rely on your proven things, because sometimes can be really confusing for you. And now, couple of tips and tricks for you how to make the seminar paper easier. Don't hesitate to cooperate with your tutor. We tutors, we aren't your competitors. We are your partners, because it can be pleasure both for you and for us. So please understand communication with us like partner discussion, like nice talking with a cup of coffee. We can be in touch via emails, via Skype, via conference calls, and so on. So don't hesitate to discuss with us. Please don't understand the seminar paper like a muse, because sometimes I hear, I have no idea. I have to wait when I will be full of ideas. But it's not the proper attitude. Why? Because it's not a muse. It's normal, really easy project. You have your project management skills. You can do your breakdown structure. So what is the problem? Then the detailed description of the problem, methods, how I will solve it, and so on and so on. Okay, cooperation can be hard because of the response time at times. I am not sure, but please be in contact with our study success department, and maybe the tutor is busy or whatever, and you can receive another, or maybe just some mails can be lost. So please, it's the standard is during 3 working days you should receive the response. We are trying to be even quicker than 3 days. And if it's longer than 3 days, don't hesitate to contact our study department and ask what's going on. Okay, so it's concerning the time. So my almost last idea, it was about not muse, about normal standard project management, and not waiting to nice idea. You aren't composers, you aren't artists, you are managers. Maybe we can use useful help in automatic things, probably in Word or whatever. So you needn't put the content by hand. You can ask your computer to do it instead of you. The same with chapters, numbers, and whatever. And even sources, the citation of sources, Harvard style or APA style, can be done by your computer. It isn't necessary for you. You can do more important part of the seminar paper. This can be outsourced to your computer. Cooperation is all about asking questions where necessary, accepting suggestions, and making necessary corrections. Yes, it's developing the solution. The tutor will help you, will give you the response, the feedback, can maybe make you to be more focused or oriented you a little bit. He can recommend you for the readings and whatever. Yeah, so it's developing in cooperation with tutor. It's not just that you are writing your paper and then just give it to evaluation. It's common together, join, developing your idea, finding your solution. This is the proper. Sometimes it happens that you have great goals, great ambitions, but unfortunately, in the same time, you have 1 or 2 or 3 women or husbands, some babies. You would like to look nice. You would like to be good mother, good worker, good everything, and it doesn't go together. So in case it's difficult for you, I suppose that we shouldn't trouble each other and we should say, okay, now it's out of my possibilities. Let's postpone it, and so on. So sometimes even the question, is it okay, should be placed. Definitely, we recommend work-life balance. It's absolutely okay to say now I need a break. You are flexible in your studies, so you can postpone something. And we would like to cooperate with people who are ready to work, who are well balanced, who feel themselves full of power, and so on. And just summary why seminar paper, not only because of MBA title, but probably if you have good cooperation with your tutor, it means that you will be free from your operational blindness. You will see more than in daily work. Probably you will receive great overview. You will be you will have to search objective information. You can't collect only your opinions, your ideas. Definitely, you will forget the blogs and cliché, because a lot of people are just saying it's not possible. It is possible theoretically, but not with us. And in case of doing the really finding solution, they will see finally that it is possible even with them. We are trying to support you and promote you in your creativity, in your critical thinking, not just repeating something, uh, because it's in economic text. We insist on structured thinking. We want you to keep the idea and focus on something, not to talk about everything. We will try to make you be good at defending, justifying, not only finding the solution, but as well be able to defend it, to justify, to win with your solutions, because sometimes it's also very useful in your work. So sometimes you can do the seminar paper from the real task you are facing in your work. So you are solving two things. One thing is the seminar paper. A second thing is the real solution useful for your work. And because it's from we are on Master of Business, we need and we will make you to do everything in economic perspective. So about return on investment, about reasons why to invest money, and so on. Now we have some times of time of relaxing. Great. Work-life balance is the lack of opposition between work and other life roles. It is the state of equilibrium in which demands of personal life and family life are equal. Yeah, it's difficult to say how much hours be in work, how much hours in life, but yeah, family is supporting you. You are supporting the work, and everything must be in balance. Yeah, I suppose we understand what does it mean. And no more questions, no more notes. Yeah, equilibrium is the key. Definitely in long term, because in short term we can do whatever, but I suppose we have long lives. So what is the result of this webinar? Are we looking forward to seminar papers? Are we preparing the cooperation with tutor? Are we thinking about new challenges? I don't know if Alex. Okay. I will present it with LIGS that also tutors should have coherence what seminar paper is. Okay, thank you for your note, Christopher. Okay, so I am looking forward for your papers. Hopefully, it will not be painful for you. It will be full of your nice contributions, not only to yourself, but as well to your work, to your bosses, and looking forward to see you. Thank you very much for your attention. Sorry again for some technical troubles. Hopefully, next time it will be better. Thank you very much. Have a nice evening, afternoon, whatever in our time zones you are. Maybe good night. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Enjoy your academic writing.